pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome to our meeting. We actually made it to December. So what if we had 3 snowstorms in November? All right, roll call. John Hodgkins here.
Joe Bailey here.
John Mullen here.
Okay, first item. Minutes from the Board of Selectmen meeting dated November 26th, please. I've seen this one already. I'm good with it.
Same here.
Motion to accept them as written.
I wasn't here.
I'll second them. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Intent to cut. Everybody has an agenda that wants one? You're right. Okay.
You're the assessing officials,
Oh. Am I the assessing official?
you guys all are.
There's a lot of them here. This is 12-2, right?
Three.
Alright. Oops, sorry.
Is there a certain time when you can cut and when you can't cut? Oh, I didn't
Cut
know.
all year round, the roads aren't posted.
Right, well, I was gonna say, I only think it's because up north when they cut, you know, they log, that's why they close logging roads, so I don't know why I was.
'Cause they can't get in there.
Right. I just didn't, I don't know why, I was just equating that with intent to cut with the law, I don't know why.
It's okay.
It's just a little moment there.
You sometimes have better access in the winter when it's frozen than when it's summertime and cut the foliage and stuff is there.
Yeah, and definitely not much on the spring when it's wet. That's
And
really-
those skidders can go anywhere. So
Right.
depends on how deep the snow is, I guess.
Okay. Let's see where this is. 65, this is 65 acres plus or minus. Access road is Silver Street and Court. Must be across the street.
So that has to be a
Back of you? Silver
No,
and
no,
Court.
No, I'm not putting that.
It's on the other side.
It's gotta be on the
It's on the
left-hand
north
side.
side.
Yeah, it's gotta be away from the lake,
Right.
Yeah, north side.
65 acres. Alright.
This one here is, map 19 lot 8, Kings Highway, Route 153. Acreage of lot 390 acres, and they're gonna cut 150 of it.
That's fishing game,
Huh?
that's fishing game.
Yeah, fishing games.
What's the map and lot for the other
Oh,
one?
I thought it might be a crazy, a minute.
What's the what?
What's the
John's
map?
got that
Oh,
one, the other one.
map 19, lot 8.
No, the one he wasn't sure about.
Oh, what's that lot number, John? Up in the right, upper right-hand corner.
There isn't anything. Upper right, there isn't anything.
Upper left.
Upper left?
Upper left,
here.
sorry.
No, the year, date, town. No. Yeah, years, town.
They're a different font.
No, there's no map and lot here on this one.
Mystery.
Should be right there.
Alright, not gonna let it go. I can't read it. Lynn A. I can't read that. Oh, Favreau,
247 Silver.
247 Silver Street.
Yep, that's exactly 65 acres.
Okay,
It's map 2, lot 4.
alright, should I put that on here?
You may have
Lot 2, what is it, map what?
Map 2, lot 4.
Okay,
Question on the form. Next to White Pine, estimated amount to be cut. Then there's 3 letters, MBF, is that million board feet?
Yes.
Okay, so this one says 40. That would mean 40 million board feet.
no,
No, it's
Thousand?
a million, it's,
per 1,000 board foot.
mil, is it
Is it
mil?
mill?
Milled board feet.
Mill.
M-I-L-L-E-D,
Yeah,
mill.
But you have to,
you can't, 40, it can't be right.
No,
Probably
it can't be.
40,000.
Well, this one says 40, that one says 60,000.
so it's probably 40,000.
It's gotta be 40K.
Unless it's only a couple.
That means
80K,
acres.
thousand?
I'd say
Yeah, I mean,
40K.
it's an
Yeah,
$80,000,
yeah.
you just did a
Yeah,
It's gotta be 40,000, 40K.
I don't
yeah,
know.
40K is thousand.
What is this?
But it says an M, that's milled board feet.
I don't have my phone.
Sign it like that, he's only getting 40 board feet.
Out of, like, looks like it's 37, 39.
When she fills
No,
this part
All
out, it says,
398, they're gonna cut
says number of
150.
board feet in thousands, so maybe.
Oh,
it's
that's what
3.
that's probably is. M is 1,000, so it's 1,000 board feet, so this one here should be 60,
Oh.
60, so that's 1,000 board feet per 1,000 board, how many thousands of board feet? I would assume that's what that means, because you're right.
When she
Next
builds
level.
it, that's how it's,
Yeah, when she builds it, it's the number of board feet in thousands,
Okay, so one of these is filled out
that one.
wrong. No.
This one,
Right,
this one here.
he just puts the 1,000 instead of just
60.
leaving it,
It's not 60 million.
no.
okay, just seems like it'll
I
fill
can,
out right.
we can strike it.
No, it's all right.
I'll ask before I give them to her, how about that?
All right, next, yield tax levy.
Okay, here's the bill, one of the old ones. It's right.
Okay. Want to read it? Addressed to Kathleen Blaney, tax collector. In the name of said state, you're hereby directed to collect on or before 30 days from the date of the bill. May 30th, 2018. For the person, the yield tax, some $907.10. Is this from,
For Middleton buildings.
right, but is it cutting timber? Okay, so they owe us a bill for $907.10. That's why we fill out the intent to cut, and then we get money back. Okay? All right, we'd like to look at 3 ordinances, if we could. First one is hawkers and peddlers.
Okay, I didn't have a chance to put it in this form, but I did give you a copy of the Stratum one. And you guys went over that last time, right? I think hawkers and first reading.
Yes.
Okay, and somebody, did we create a new form, or did we do a form?
Yeah, you approved the form, but the ordinance didn't state the fee for the form or the distance of time for the form.
Okay. I've been doing these ordinances, of course, and I've been modeling a lot of them after the town of Stratham. Because Stratham puts in their ordinances most of the time references to RSAs. On this hawker one, they do. Usually it's in the beginning. I think that's a good idea that when we redo these ordinances, that we refer to the proper statute that allows us to do that and so forth and so on. So, was there a concern about the fee?
The fee that you approved for $25 was
Okay.
not in the ordinance at all.
Okay. Stratum has their fee at 40.
Okay.
And I believe we had our fee at 100.
What was 25?
The new one that you just
The
approved.
new one you just approved.
For 7 days, it was $25.
All right.
Let me see what they have to say.
This is 40.
Chief of police does all this, does it all. Applicant, okay, so Stratums, and we don't have to follow that, we can follow exactly what you did, just change the fee. The applicant upon applying for said license shall assess a non-refundable fee of $40, so we're saying 25, is that what we said?
Okay.
Which shall be collected by the police department with said application is made. Funds collected be transferred to town treasurer and deposited in general fund. Upon issuance of the license to any person, corporation, religious group, ensures the chief of police will notify the board of selectmen or town clerk said license once issued should not be transferred to any other person or entity. License will expire 365 days. What did our previous one say? Do you remember?
Our previous one,
Yeah, I don't have that. It's
it's in my office.
It's in my office too. Well, they say the license will expire at 365 days, date of issuance. So,
So does that mean that's a one-year
it's
thing?
a 1-year thing.
Our new one was 7 business days
Okay, yeah,
for $25.
yeah, I might keep it 7 business days.
Okay.
So if you're gonna be paying more than $25.
It's in the minutes that you just- Or 7 calendar day permit, that's how it's worded.
7 calendar days.
Yep.
Okay, was there any, and I'm sorry I don't have that. I didn't bring them in here. All door-to-door solicitations and sales shall occur between the hours of 9 AM and 7 PM. Is that acceptable? Want me to get the old one? Want me to get the copy of the old one?
Well, right now, we don't have a copy of the new one.
No, because
Okay,
I haven't put this in the
Right.
form.
So could I suggest we have the new one for next week,
That's fine,
so that we can approve it?
yeah.
Joe, you agree?
Yeah, that's fine.
But is the time frame okay with you?
I would, that 9 to 7, I don't have any problem with that time frame, but as long as it's Monday through Friday, not weekend. I don't want people coming in my yard, if I'm going all weekend long or something like that, usually somebody there during the day, but I don't want people just hanging around the yard, whatever.
Through Friday, okay.
Did Jehovah's Witnesses need to have a permit when they come door to door?
They're not selling nothing.
What's that?
When the Jehovah's Witnesses, do
They're
they,
not selling nothing.
It's a religious group.
they don't need any permits?
No, they're not, because, I mean, it's
I
like,
know they're not selling
well,
it.
the other thing is you get these young kids coming in and selling the
Magazines.
educational books and stuff like that, whatever.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
I have a truck full of steaks.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've had that happen.
so,
You want, say, 9 to 7 weekdays and say 12 to 4 on weekends?
No,
Why
no
have,
weekends.
why have it 7 calendar days then?
I don't wanna, well, okay, not a calendar day, we would say, 5 days, we could change that to 5 days. Weekdays only, we'll word it something that's weekdays only.
that's my opinion, I mean, everybody else is,
No,
it's
I
either they
no,
like it or
I
I
don't,
mean, it's just me.
I don't want it on a weekdays. Okay,
They know they can never get us home during the week, so that's why they don't
Wow.
need weekends.
okay, let's see here. Ordinance does not apply for those youth, who are youth members under 18 years of age. In other words, you can't get it. This ordinance does not apply to those who are youth members under under 18 years of age and directly affiliated with recognized youth organizations, Boy
Boy
Scouts,
Scouts, Girl Scouts, all
Girl
that kind of
Scouts,
stuff.
all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
That's fine.
This ordinance does not apply to those vendors who are working directly under a not-for-profit agency as part of a larger event held by the town of Middleton, such as Old Home Days or something, I don't know. Said agencies, blah, 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 blah. I'll have this for next week, yeah. I just wanna make sure we get all this down so I can get in there. Ordinance does not apply to any group or individual who engaged in, I can't even say that word. I can't. Proselytizing,
Proselytizing.
participating, okay, who are engaged in, proselytizing, participating in political activities, or exercising any other right to protect free speech, and who are not engaged in selling or offering selling. So, if a group comes along as an advocating a particular policy, you can't have a hawker, because they're not selling anything, unless they want a contribution to that particular cause, then you might want to do that. Whoever counterfeits or forges a license, okay, that's just a penalty there. Penalties, it talks about penalties, ordinance should have 2 readings, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'll have that done for next week, which is,
How about special events? It looks like it's been,
oh yeah, I just finished that one. Okay, this one also, let me make a note on this one. What's next week's date?
10.
Okay, well, 10, thank you. Okay, this one here, again, I fashioned this after the Stratum one. And again, the reason I did that, I like their setup, their purpose, authority, definitions, they cite the statutes. I haven't had a chance to review the statutes, but I don't think they've changed, but I will make sure they're up to date. It cites the purpose here. And I took it, okay, it talks about the Middleton Board of Selectmen grant the authority under RSA, blah, 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 blah. Police chief is granted authority to require police details such as determined by the police chief. And I think you did a form, right, last week? Okay, and the Middleton Fire Chief is granted authority under various New Hampshire statutes, state fire codes. And that further down in this ordinance here talks about who should be notified, licensing requirement, and it's everybody, fire chief, police chief, road agent, all that kind of stuff to ensure that things are safe. Special event is a meeting, show, competition, event, or other function as defined in RSA, blah, 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 whether held indoors or outdoors. Now, I'm gonna have a question down here as we get further in here on page 2. Our special events, this policy is about 3 pages long, and our special events one was about the same. Our special event was updated in 1986 and refers basically to the same RSA, which I can't believe is the same, but I guess it is. And it looks pretty much similar, 3 pages long.
What's the date of theirs?
I'm sorry?
What's the date of the Stratum one?
2016. Property, let's see here, it talks about definitions of special event.
I've got a question, I guess it's page 2.
Yep,
Application procedure,
yep.
after submit,
I just copied it, I'm not sure we need to go through all this stuff, but
what do you mean by site plan? Does that mean a drawing?
a drawing of, if you're gonna have an event, where the tent's gonna be, where the porta potty's gonna be, where
Right, but that's different than a site plan as required by the
right,
planning board.
it would be a site plan of your event.
So should we change the wording here so that 3 years from now, when somebody wants to use this for.
Site plan of event, how's that?
Okay.
Ambulance, medical service plan, security, crowd control, the ticket distribution plan, sanitary facilities, food service. Application requirements will be based on the estimated number of it. Okay, now, Stratum has, remember, Stratum has big fair, big one. I put that in here because I put what they have in here. Application fee for the license of shall be, it says application fee for a license to exhibit in any hall. We already have a use of the hall. We have no other hall facility that we would rent out as an event. I don't think we'd wanna rent out the fire station, don't wanna do that. So we already have a policy on the hall, so in terms of, application fee to license the exhibit in any hall, we don't allow for-profit special events. We already accommodate that in the other one, don't you think?
Yeah. So I go
Okay, so we
application
could
fee for
cite,
license
we
fees.
could indoor events, we could strike,
Yeah, we don't have,
okay? So then they have outdoor events, and this is where outdoor events, and they have categories 1, 2, 3, and 4. Category 1 would be events that would be 1 to 99, and then you have application fees there. Public hearing, no. Any events over 3,000. I remember Stratum has their fair, so every time they get the fair, I am sure that they go through a public hearing and all this other kind of gobbledygook. If we have 3,000 people here, I don't know where we'd put them. I don't know where they park. We have to have shuttle service, we don't have enough room for 3,000 people. So,
I could probably park a hundred in my house.
There you go, yeah.
$10 a head, 20?
I'd be down on the lake with that little flag like they do up in Freiburg.
So anyway, they talk about a permit coordinator in here, but I can strike that, it's just, found receipt by the Board of Selectmen, and I can put that in there.
Couple of questions, please.
Sure.
Back on, I guess it's page 2. You have licensing requirements, then you're heading this section, Roman numeral V. What's that for?
That's a typo, that should come
Okay.
out, that should come out.
And then on the next page, page 3, guidelines for review. Review staff shall act on all applications for, excuse me, special events in accordance with sections 2 through 4. Are you talking about the ones up here? Because up here they're listed as,
Well, I'll have to, I took the sections out, I just left the titles in, so I'll have to put, in accordance with licensing requirement and, whatever the other one was,
Okay.
definitions, I'll change that,
okay.
that's a good point. Cause they list sections 1, 2, we have been, on the ones we've done, we've trying to keep consistent. I mean, I could change all these ordinances to have section 1, which would be purpose, section 2 authority, and all that kind of stuff, but I didn't do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
On that business with the indoor, I realize that it's redundant in a sense, but if someone's looking at referencing things, would it be worth considering to put in, for indoor events, see ordinance regarding Old Town Hall or something to that effect?
Good.
Well, it wouldn't hurt.
So I'm the new things like that, see the town hall, use of the town hall.
Indoor events. Refer to Old Town Hall policy. Okay. Guidelines for review. I'll change those sections, there's another, where they refer to sections. And A, B. Okay, page 4. This goes into, now see, I don't know if we need this in here, but we could leave it in here, because again, we're not gonna have 3,000 people coming
I have to tell you, there's been a lot of talk about a Renaissance fair in this area. Been talked about for a few years, Sue Dooley has been talking about it, so that could generate enough, so, but I don't think we have to worry about it right now.
You can leave it in there, doesn't hurt, it's fine, you can leave it in there. Doesn't hurt to leave it in there, but I'll never see it in my lifetime.
Never say never.
Never say
I
never.
might.
Highly unlikely that I'll see it in my lifetime, how's that?
John, I'm on page 4.
Yep.
Item H.
Yep.
A certificate of insurance, COI,
Mhm.
showing the carrier and the amount of liability insurance. What is the amount?
That's a good question.
$1? Is that enough?
No?
$1 million? Whatever it is, I think it should be here,
I
otherwise.
don't know what it should be. They, certificate showing the carrier and the amount of liability. Well, some of these events, who's done events? Some of these events have a set policy. I'll find out. Some of them have a standard, like $1 million policy.
General rule of thumb is $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, you
But
know,
I think, whatever it is, it better state it, so
yeah,
it's not confusion.
I can ask,
Andrea.
Andrea. Not you. Andrea, she'll be able to tell me. Non-performance, okay, fees, okay. What do we set the fees for on special events? Was it, this is 50, but I don't know what that was. We have,
We didn't have a fee when we just approved the other day because we only called it a parking permit.
good for us. Parking permit, I think we ought to have a fee.
Is there a fee if you're a nonprofit?
No, probably not. I think it mentions in here. There is no fee. Wow. Oh. Oh, yes, sir. No. This is, oh, this is a good one.
Noise levels, yeah.
That should be included in there. I don't know how current those are. Wow.
We talked about this last week.
Oh, you did? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, all right. I don't see a fee in there because we didn't have a fee. Do we want a fee, or we don't want a fee?
What kind of events are we talking about?
Right.
Big
I
groups
was gonna
or
say,
like
if you're gonna have an
Roxanne's
event,
on the
if it was
barbecue?
like if I was gonna have an event at my house,
Remember the old home days we did?
well, right, no, but, so to me, that's kind of like entails like the old town hall
That's in
agreement.
here. That's to be an indoor facility.
Right,
If you did an outdoor, let's say a group wanted to sponsor a Renaissance fair, I don't know where the hell they would,
right,
where the heck they would put it, but they could do that, or,
so is this a special event permit ordinance only on town, to be happening on town property?
no,
Okay, that's the main.
anywhere.
Okay, anywhere.
Was this
Including
like a
school
birthday
property?
party? or-
Well, that's
yeah.
what I'm thinking, okay, a graduation party outdoors, you need a special event permit?
What
Where
about,
you go, where you draw that, when you start, if it's 100 people and above,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
about an event at the school property? Is that governed by the town or by the school?
Well, here's the thing. The purpose, let me read you the purpose of the special, according to Stratum. And maybe I can read you the purpose of ours based on what we did. Ours back in '86 said, a license shall be required for all special events in Middleton per RSA, blah, blah, blah. Board of Assessment, the Board of Selectmen, or the Select Board, I guess would be the more appropriate today, is the licensing authority. Special events are defined in RSA 286, 1 through 4. Shall include but not limited to the following event: musical concerts and/or dances, sporting events. Any special event is defined above, whether held inside or outside on public property or on private property abutting public property, shall require compliance with these procedures. One of the things in here that they're concerned about is public safety, so part of the process, reviewing process on a special event, fire, okay? Or if it's outdoors and there's going to be barbecues, do they have the proper fire equipment, extinguishing, you know what I'm talking about. Extinguishing equipment, for health, do they have a proper sanitary facilities? For police, do they have enough police control? It also says in here that those services rendered by the town are billable by the town to the applicant. And a deposit of X, and I don't know what it says, I haven't got that far, you gotta put down some money, that you may get it all back, or you may build further. Special event is Loudon Speedway, you guys go up there and you do all kinds of stuff in there, and they get paid for that. So, and overtime, whatever, the highway department, health officer for health, state, all that kind of stuff, so.
John,
Yep.
you mentioned that they may get some of the money back, but not all of it.
Well, if let's say there's an event that, they plan for 1,000 people and 2,000 show up, and we need to call another police officer, and we need it for traffic control, I don't know, something to that effect. You may be billed more than was estimated in the beginning because your event got bigger. If they had a fire, I don't think we'd bill them for a fire, because that would be a public safety issue, but, highway department might have something to do with barricades, and you may have to, just giving the town a leeway in case costs go above the estimate, then we're not gonna be stuck with extra.
I understand that, but in here it says we collect 50% at the beginning, before it begins.
Yeah,
How do you ever collect the rest of it after they're done and they're leaving?
well, you can, I don't know, you can either have a contract signed on the application that says you will pay it, just like anything else.
Or do you collect more at the beginning?
You can collect more at the beginning, but
Refund
what
money.
if you have more? You collect, I would say collect a deposit first, have them sign a contract with the town, which is part of the license. If they don't pay, you go after them.
Okay.
So would the school need a permit for their Christmas concert like they just filled out?
I think that's a public
It's the same
nonprofit organization.
We don't have a parking permit, this is what it is, that you filled out. Was because of the special events permit.
Cause they wanna park where they can't park.
Right, but is that part of that?
Hmm.
She technically wouldn't need one. Because of her event,
That's a good question. I don't
because that's
know.
why we changed it to a parking permit.
Well, parking permit would be different than this one.
Right, so we don't have a parking permit.
We don't.
We were using the event. Because of the event, she needs to park on the road.
And an exception, there should be because right now, there's no parking on any town roads.
Right.
So we need to,
So we need in the parking restriction ordinance, which we haven't done yet, on a form that you fill out, just like a resident, I'm told if a resident has a party, they can go to the police and say, I'm gonna have a party, can I park on here, and they will do this, but if we want, to keep record of that event down there, because they'll be able to park in their own facility, but the reason they want special permit is they're parking in an area that right now is designated no parking. So that would be an exception to the parking ordinance. We can use that form, I guess for now, but I would say that doesn't fall into this thing here. That would be a parking, my opinion, that would be a parking restriction exemption.
Okay.
so we
Yeah,
allow,
I can
we
get-
allow for this event, but we need to work on that pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was thinking about, and I was thinking about the parking, was on the parking restriction. Parking is not allowed on any streets, period. So I think in the snow obstruction thing here, we have I put in there, as most communities do within New Hampshire and across the Northeast and whatever, no parking on any streets, beginning November 1st and ending April 30th. Then what other towns in New Hampshire do, they list the streets where you can park. And the point of where you can park on either side is to maintain the roads for a safe travel of emergency equipment. So, like on my street, it's not more than, I don't think it's not more than 20 feet wide. And there's no shoulder per se. So, on that particular street, we have to figure out, okay, let's say on Shore Drive, you can only park on the lake side. But what do you say on Gary Road? What do you say on Spruce Road? What do you say on Nicola? Do you say on the lakeside or on do you say at northeast, southwest? You can't use house numbers because nobody sees the house numbers posted. The mailboxes are all on one side. So that could be that would take a little work to get through, but it can be done.
Right, so where are we in this one?
Well, this one here is still special events, so, I mean, as far as the form you filled out, I would say that's okay for the time being. But I really think that falls into the, parking. So this would be, again, as defined in that RSA, and I can certainly pull that up.
What RSA was that?
286 paragraph 1 through 4.
So the last thing we talked about was the fees.
What's that?
Last thing we talked about on the special event.
It was fees, yes.
Fee, so.
So if we had a special event, a sporting event, what do they say in here? Dance, let's say an outside dance, somebody wants to do an outside dance, a big dance, I don't know.
What happens if it's like a wedding? Like there was a wedding on Silver Street over the summer.
Well,
There was a,
is that a special event? If it's over, we could change if it's over 50 people, if it's on Silver Street, how big was the wedding, how many people?
I think they were expecting like 100.
There you go.
Yeah, so
So-
I would agree, I think you should put in like a guideline of a number of people.
Well, there is one in here,
Okay.
it says 1 to 99. 1 to 99 is a category, 1 to 99 is category 1. And, the application fee for there is $20, according to Stratum. No public hearing is required, no hearing or notice for a fee. That's where they have it. 100 plus, and the maximum review period, in other words, you gotta have ahead of time, it's only 30 days notice. So then if you get above 100 to 1,000, you need 45 days advance notice, and the fee goes up. And if you go from 1,000 to 2,999, then the fee goes really up. And
Excuse me, I'm sorry, did you guys fill out the building shake?
Yeah, there's been a couple of reports of it.
Yeah, I think we just had it real quick, I just wanted to make sure, because I just got a few calls too, so. All right, sorry guys.
The earth move under my feet.
Huh?
The earth's moving under my feet.
The songs you
I
had.
know, that's why I say that.
Earthquake.
Earthquake.
earthquake?
Did you feel the building shaking a few seconds ago?
No, I saw the lights. Oh, there's an aftershock. No, I'm okay.
That's just normal.
That is normal, that's bad,
That's just a light show.
that's bad. Okay,
Better than 17 or, 12 tornadoes in Illinois.
22.
42? Yeah, 42 is enormous.
22.
okay,
So
so
what do we,
I,
where are we?
we're at the fee here for
How many people?
50-day, community events should not be charged a permit fee, obviously. So, community events.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if we've had old home days before where we've had picnics down, or a barbecue down there, which is a very good barbecue, by the way, good chicken. So that, they're exempt from that. Application fees okay, here's where it says. The application fee does not include the cost of fire, police protection, or any other extra town expense required to protect the health and safety of the public. This is on page 4 at the bottom, which can reasonably be attributed to the event. All such costs associated with the use of active and standby emergency and other services provided by the town of Middleton or by other town emergency services shall be borne by the applicant, promoter, or sponsor. You will be required to pay 50% of special duty fees before the approved permit will be released. So It's just like Loudon, you know how much you charge Loudon, right, when you go up there, or they will pay you, let's put it that way.
Right.
And the town, I'm sure, has so you can figure out what the fee is gonna be. In the event of a special duty emergency response or protective coverage is provided by the nearby municipality on behalf of town of Middleton, an invoice will also be submitted by the municipality for services provided. In other words, if we need more fire protection or something for the size of the event or an emergency based on the event, let's say there's somebody has a fire, let's say somebody has a concert on one of the farms up there, okay? And a lot of people come there, tornado comes through, you need more people, you need traffic, more, that's what this is covering for all that kind of stuff. At the time, in the beginning of this, payment to 50%, cash, check, or money order should be noted. The fees are estimates only in all caps. Actual fees may be higher. After the event, billings for special duty services will be based on actual hours incurred by town personnel. Excuse me. The balance of due will be invoices will be adjusted, and they even have a late fee of 2%. Performance bonds on events over 5,000. If we have 5,000, we're gonna sink into the ground. We'll never. Highly unlikely. So that's it.
Can we Olivia work the orders on?
Yeah, I think so.
Do some more work?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm still confused
Well,
about the event.
Yeah, cause and maybe I'm still on this, and it's just a takeaway as far as, it's like, so, it's on anybody's property?
Yeah.
Well, it says,
If it abuts town
if
property.
it butts town property, so like, my property doesn't abut any town
No,
property.
it doesn't.
But what is the road?
What about the road?
What
Oh,
about the
no,
road?
no, the town doesn't own the road, not
No,
the
that's
road.
a state
No, no,
property.
It's a state,
State
that's
property.
a state
So,
property.
but I'm just saying, I'm just saying like, down at the lake in the summertime, somebody has a huge barbecue. Cause I
That,
think that happens, I'm assuming.
well, that would
being
be
like-
on town road, so that would qualify. Your particular one, you're on a state road, so if you went in the back there and did whatever you guys do back there,
Yeah.
whatever you do,
Yeah.
okay, or have a big bash back there.
Mhm.
I would guess, if it's a lot of people, I would be concerned about, even if it's on your own property, I guess I would be concerned about the safety and the number of people, but that's not a state, that's a town, that's a
Right.
state.
I guess, but my point is to say, you know, I don't live on 153, I live on Ridge Road or whatever, and I'm gonna have a barbecue in the summertime that's gonna be 50 people. I need to have a special.
According to this, you would. If
Who's
it abuts,
going to police that?
Who's
Oh,
gonna
it-
track that?
Well, right, but I mean, so I don't mean to be nitpicky, I just wanna, I mean, because you're gonna have some people who are gonna say one thing versus another, and I just kinda want it to be.
so what would you
clearer.
suggest?
I don't know, I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there, John, just to
So
say.
if you had, so do you change the number of people, because it eventually, and I'm not arguing one way or the other, I'm just
not either.
saying,
I'm just
if
trying to
the
figure out
event,
what the guideline is.
the reason you want a special event, if you're, you
yeah.
have to read what the definition
Right.
in the RSA says, what does it
I
say?
was looking that up.
Well, she's got it right here, what
Because I
does
was
it
gonna
say?
say, yes, maybe that will help guide as far as, you know.
Okay, yes, okay, it talks about, showman, it says no showman, tumbler, rope dancer, ventriloquist, or other
Well,
person,
that rules on us, doesn't it?
ventriloquist,
Really?
or other person shall for pay
Discriminatory.
exhibit any feats of agility, horsemanship, what is this? What is
It
this?
says you're 286,
286-1?
one.
Okay, this is shows and open air meetings.
Let's just do Woodstock in the middle of town.
Well, that's what I was thinking
They
of.
used to
Then
have one
two is
on Ridge Road.
theatricals, parades, and meetings.
No
Right.
theatrical
It's not
damage
fast.
shall be performed,
Yeah,
exhibited, no parades.
Right in there,
on
where
any
you
public
used to be the horse
street,
farm.
a thoroughfare,
There's a big wooden-
See, this makes sense, this is like if you're gonna
Yeah,
go circus,
yeah, yeah.
Right.
or Renaissance
Or
fair,
something that, you
another
know,
family
The
art
city,
fair.
the
Say
city,
that.
the city, in the city, will create a
Like you
licensing.
used to.
pay for.
So,
Like that.
the very first thing we should do,
I think we need to do some more work on this.
right, but, you know, just as a suggestion, I would think when you have your first thing of your, up here, like your category 1, instead of having 1 through 99, have
Each special license.
basically-
rating is, you know,
1 through 50 not needed,
Well,
or something like that, 1 through 75 not
Well,
needed.
I guess maybe it's
I'd
the
say
purpose,
70.
or it's the purpose, or, you know what I
what is
mean?
it? It says-
The biggest problem, the
We
good
need to
news
do
is,
more work on
what
that.
a good example is Janet Kayla's gonna have a big town party.
All the time.
And we have to go down on Dudley Road, and she don't have a lot of parking on the back parking lot, so we have to park on the side of the road.
Right.
Well, now you got traffic control, yeah,
So,
all kinds of
but is
That
that
would be-
parking
That would be a
versus
parking
special-
scenario,
Okay.
because
but you still have to
parking,
have
Right,
police,
no, I get it.
fire,
It wouldn't
aware.
matter anyway, cause there's no parking on the street allowed up there,
I
so
think we
what
need
do I
more
need
work.
anything
Yeah.
for?
Okay. I'm
more
looking at
So
work.
that's
that.
why last week we said that we would change it, because really special events, unless you're gonna monitor people's family barbecues and graduation parties, it's kinda,
It's kinda ridiculous,
the only thing you would need is to park on the side of the road.
but there's no parking allowed up there.
But
No,
we
but
changed
you-
it if you have.
if you have a parking,
Alright,
Okay.
folks, can we,
Yeah,
all right, go ahead.
move along?
Snow
Okay.
obstruction,
You wanna look at the next one?
snow obstruction,
Okay, when you get the purpose, I have a comment to make.
okay. Again, this was pulled from Stratham's verbiage here, so in accordance to okay, purpose. Whereas the placing
Just send it.
should be the placing of snow, probably should say, and other debris. So you're gonna say what other debris you're talking about?
No, the way it's written right now, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, 1 sentence, it's too long.
Okay, well,
So I recommend take out the word whereas, start a sentence. The placing of snow, blah, 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 maintenance of these travelways, period. Third line, period. After the
yeah,
word
okay, yes, yes.
New
This,
sentence.
you know what, John, you know what this is? This is a lawyer writing this.
Well, okay. The purpose of this ordinance is all, right?
Yeah,
Change it so people can read it.
okay. All right, prohibitive acts. This is, we have an ordinance, we have a snow obstruction ordinance now that says you can't put any substantial amount of snow. What's substantial? Which makes sense. I mean, courts will say, well, you didn't define substantial. So here we say, most towns that have this ordinance, no snow, period. Problem is enforcement. What do you do? It's like a traffic violation, although I guess, we haven't had too many of those. We've had some. I've been told by the police there hasn't, maybe 1 or 2, maybe. I know we've had 4 snow events, not counting this last one where they were out sanding, but 4 plowable events. They did plow the other day. And the first one we had, which was understandable, which was a pretty good sized one, we had some people parking on the side of the road. I understand people wanna get out, dig out, move their cars out, but they have to be cognizant of the plowing activity comes around because the roads have to be made safe, not only for the public, but for public safety, fire department, ambulances, and police. That's the main reason for the roads to be maintained and clean. And so when you park on some of these town roads that we have, because you're digging out, and the plows have to go around, it's very difficult for them to go around.
Okay, John?
Yeah,
I agree with you, but I'm not sure where that's in this ordinance.
well,
They talk about the snow, they don't talk about parking.
no, but it doesn't. No, it doesn't, but when that parking restriction, if they parked in the road, okay, no, it doesn't. So I was deviating, I guess I was. That would be in the parking restriction ordinance.
Yep.
Okay, which says you can, but it does say, we do say, in that parking restriction, that you can only park a certain time of the year. So this basically prohibits, and it's, what I also put down here is, somebody said, well, the original ordinance said, our ordinance said property owner or operator. So what I said, no resident, property owner, or operator of a vehicle, resident, or you could say occupant, but I said, I could put occupant, no resident, occupant, property owner, or operator of a vehicle or equipment. Equipment can be a snow blower, can be a shovel. Put or place or store, cause to be put, placed, or stored snow, ice, or other debris. I don't know what other debris would be in the
Tree
winter.
limbs.
Oh, I can
trees,
give you a good example.
Leaves.
Leaves, yeah, leaves, but yeah. But this, the title is this snow obstruction, so we're talking about that. So I don't know if you're talking about ice, but it doesn't, we don't really specify. Onto any public road, sidewalk, we don't have any, well, no, we don't. So I could strike that, although we may someday. We may have hydrants.
You know.
I could strike sideway, within the town of Middleton. All of the prohibited conduct outlined here shall be defined as a violation under RSA, blah, 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 blah. Person found guilty. Now, this particular ordinance would be like a traffic ticket.
So what happens when you come home from work and you can't get in your driveway until you shovel it? What do? Put the car in your pocket?
You got it. In that particular case, yeah, you gotta park it and shovel out to get into your property. Yes,
Right.
you do.
But then when we, yeah.
So what do we do to keep the road safe when it continues to snow? That is a problem, you have to get off the public way.
Right, but you gotta be able to get in your driveway to do
Well,
it.
then you gotta find a way to get your driveway open.
Exactly, you get out and you shovel it.
That's exactly correct.
I don't think, and this is going to be, the intent of this is like, okay, I come home from a snowstorm, don't Janet?
From work.
But she comes home from work, cloud's been by, she's got probably a foot and a half of snow, whatever.
Ain't gonna get in with that
Okay.
little Nissan.
She has to park, walk in, get the shovel, come out and start digging out. If a plow comes by and stuff like that, it's one thing, she can always get in the truck and move it out of the way and come
Right.
back, okay? I don't think the town should be that tough
No.
to not allow somebody to get into their property, so they're not gonna be an obstruction. There's gonna have to be some lead time of maybe half an hour or something like that, whatever, to be able to do that.
Thank you, Joanne.
This is just, I would say, this particular ordinance is just to make aware, the ones that seem to cause most of the problem are contractors who are plowing snow across the street.
Yes.
Not necessarily snow blowers. Now, highway department made a comment to me that, either your homeowner has a plow or contractors, when they plow across the street to somebody else's lot,
Yeah.
if they're allowed to do that, but it's a right of way so they can plow across the street. Some don't push far enough. Now, we have to be reasonable, I think, in some of these things, because over the years, let's say in February, March, the banks are pretty high. And if we have a 10, 12-inch snow, it's tough to push it further. What they would like to have seen is push it off the pavement. That may be difficult. So I think this is really for habitual offenders, I would say, that constantly do it all the time. And again, we haven't had that many around here, but if we ever did, it's like anything else. Somebody plows up there and we say, okay, please don't do this, and they continue to do it, that's when you hammer them. So, that's all this is about. So they have, procedures for,
John, go ahead.
I remember Rick Forsberg making one comment before about people plowing across the road. It's not just getting it off the pavement, but he also had a problem with people plowing incompletely, leaving a residue of snow on the pavement or removing the sand and salt that he put down, which
that becomes a safety issue. That's one of the
So it's
reasons
more than just
that
getting it off
we
the road.
don't, we don't want you to plow the residue across the street. And you certainly, you know, that, look, we have to be reasonable in this thing here. We're in an area that we get snow. I think this is really aimed at the habitual snow violator, if you will. And not plowing, and plowing across the snow will remove the salt that they, or the stuff they put down to take care of the roads. And that would make that particular road area possibly unsafe. If you're let's say down on Dudley Drive, further down the hill toward Nicola.
Yes.
If somebody pushed that away and somebody's coming down the hill and they start to brake and they hit that spot, who's liable for that? Town is.
I've seen people with snow blowers blow it out into the road.
I've seen that too.
We got one right on Dudley Drive.
I have seen that too. I just don't understand why they do that.
Cause they
I
don't
mean,
know how to do it.
I have, just a personal, no, I'll finish here. My driveway, I have, next to me on my left is, my neighbor's driveway, which we have about that far away from the driveway, okay? He parks his truck there, that's fine. On the other side, I have my lawn. So I don't plow because I have no place to put it. Even if he could go down and pull it and then push it, it would be pushed onto my neighbors across the street. I don't wanna put the snow there. They have plus, the banks are high enough as it is, so I snow blow. So I don't blow the snow in the road. Why would I do, I blow it this way, and then when I go on this side, I shoot it that way. And I think that's what this would be. Okay,
Okay, all
I'm
right,
done.
can I move on down to procedures?
yes,
A is, again, one sentence. It needs to be changed so that normal people can read it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-line sentence with, I don't know, close to 100 words in it. At least 50 or 60. We need to break it up into
okay,
ordinary sentences.
okay,
Okay?
yep,
The money is fine, just, it's gotta be so
okay,
people can read this stuff.
okay. All right,
Question. So this now has nothing about parking, so
Nope.
we don't have a parking ordinance
we
then?
do have a parking ordinance.
It's within our snow ordinance,
No,
it's all in one or the other, in our
yeah.
old version,
yeah,
so
so,
it's
So
on,
we can split it out.
so we need to write a parking one, otherwise you approve this, you don't have a parking one. Cause you're replacing your old snow, which
So-
includes your parking ordinance, it's all in, it's all in one.
all right, then we need to do that.
In fact, somewhere in here we should refer to parking ordinance regarding cars on the highways or some language.
I think the next thing, we take these ones here we've got, fine tune with them, what John said, sentencing and all that kind of stuff. But the next one we should really work on, and the first one, like that, be the
Parking, yeah, I
parking.
consider
Okay.
that.
And that way, before we approve each one like that, it makes sense that these ones work into the parking one as well.
Okay, okay,
All right,
very good.
by the way, John, you're the one that's got this started, thank you, because
We're moving along.
they need to be looked at. Okay. Old business, tax rate.
I just want to announce that your tax rate was set, for anybody that doesn't already know that news.
Okay,
So, tax rate was $27.99, and the village district will be $28.60.
Will be what?
What?
$28.60.
Oh, 28.
Oh.
Oh,
Thought you said 2060.
that's what I thought, I heard, I was, I like that one.
That's not what my tax bill
Laura.
says.
This year versus last year, just the town budget alone, no, nothing else, just the tax for the town itself.
Your municipality went down $1.27.
But our overall taxes went up.
Correct, because, well, the municipality went down $1.27, the county went down 15 cents, the state education went down 16 cents, but your school went up $2.62, leaving a difference of $1.04.
I just want the record, but how it's broken down. What's what, so.
Okay,
Okay. All right, under old business, last week I read a letter from a concerned citizen living on Pond Road. I have drafted a letter. I don't think I need to read the whole thing, but if I may, just the rough idea of how I responded. I started out by explaining the access road is a class 6 road.
You wanna explain, John, what the complaint was?
You know, we read it last week as
Oh, okay, I'm
a
sorry.
complaint that they,
Sorry, wasn't here.
it was a multiple page concern that waste management is no longer, at least for this winter, going up Access Road and on the Pond Road, because they feel they can't get their trucks through. And this resident wanted to know what we were gonna do about it, including such things as expecting a lowering of the tax rate, and more concerns of, well, if other providers can get this trucks through, why can't Waste Management, right? And we have a little trouble with big trucks, okay? So, Pond Road is a private road. We do not maintain private roads, okay? I pointed out the properties located on a class 6 road or on private roads pay less than property taxes based on the lower assessed valuation than properties on a class 5 road. Good. They asked the question about how emergency management vehicles can get through. I answered by saying town emergency equipment will travel on class 5 or private roads when called for, provided the roads are passable. Chief Lawrence, is that pretty accurate? We go if we can get through, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you can't, you don't.
Right. Due to the size, waste management trucks have more difficulty traveling on those roads than other service providers. I have 2 suggestions, without trying to be flip. Hire someone to plow your road. Okay? For example, last winter, Paul Taylor kept Access Road open as far as his apartments. I don't know what his plans are for this one. The other one, which is kind of a zinger, if all property owners on Pond Road and or Access Road sign a petition to upgrade those roads to be a class 5 road, not class 6. Your petition will be presented to the town for approval. Here's the zinger. If approved, the cost of upgrading your road will be passed on to property owners. Okay? We've gone through this before with, was it Deer Run that
Yep.
wanted us to take over the road. Well, we would, except they couldn't get everybody to agree to have it become part of their additional taxes.
Right.
Beyond that, I don't see much else.
We can't do anything,
Right.
and we cannot force the contractor to go into an unsafe situation.
Right,
You did make the statement that he is already getting reduced
right,
taxes.
right. Now, an unanswered question, and I'm not sure I wanna touch this.
Well, don't.
But
Waste Management said told these people, bring your trash out to the end of Access Road where it meets 153. That would be Union, not Middleton. I don't know how the good folks of Union would react to seeing Middleton's trash piled up in the corner of their street.
I'm not sure where he got that, that is not what the email said. So they
Okay.
changed the wording around when he sent his letter. It just
Okay.
says bring it out to the main road, which I believe is Access Road
Okay.
Right.
for them, which they go up to Taylor because Taylor maintains that portion of the road.
He took it as 153 is the main road.
He changed it, so.
That's it, that's all, so no follow-up on it. Alright, any other old business?
Christmas party,
Oh, yes.
good time was had by, I think by all. Started at 2 o'clock, Santa Claus showed up at 2:45, kids all had pictures taken, they all had goodie bags. Immediately after, at 4 o'clock, we had our fundraiser of childcare. Drop your kid off for 4 hours for $10.
Yeah,
How
about
was that?
25
We had
kids.
21 kids,
Wow.
okay?
Now that's $10 an hour. No, it's $10 for the 4 hours.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, it turned out to be a good, no, we're not gonna get rich off of it, obviously, but we think, yeah, maybe talking about, we get another time to do that would be around St. Valentine's Day. It's possible. So, other than that, it was really, really good time, and we did all right with it, and, you know, appreciate all the help from the venture crew. I mean, Laura and Andrea and Tammy and, you know, some of the fire department come over and stayed with us all the time on the Christmas party. The police department had, the car involved in the little parade that we had and stuff, so it's good time, so.
To your credit, I believe you had medical personnel there if there were any emergencies with the children.
Yeah, we had Andrea and Laura there for, you know, for emergency
Thank
like
you.
that. Tammy, obviously a licensed daycare.
Yeah.
Some of the people, were her daycare people from that already.
Were any of the children still in diapers? Because I heard you volunteered for that. No?
I kinda didn't get volunteered, but I had one little fella decided that he really liked me more than, most people, so he wanted to stick with me. So, he liked Andrea, so, and we fell asleep, he liked her.
And it's duly written up with all names in the, this week's Thursday's paper. With a picture.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Okay, new topic, please. It's that time of year for evaluations. As part of our personnel policy, employees should be evaluated by their department head, if you will. Department heads are evaluated by the selectmen. So it's, for you department heads, that should be looking for blank evaluations coming out to be filled out. It's important to get this done before we get too far into budget, as there are times when evaluations play a part in possible raises or so forth. So, you know, I'd like to know how the department is functioning. Alright? Alright, what else? Anything?
New business for me. We mentioned here, well, these lights for flickering, these
Okay.
little Murphy bulb ones. Is there any way we can check in with Jeff Jacobs or anybody that maybe change these out to LEDs? Not change all lights, just change the bulbs? I mean, I think they have a better light and they don't flicker like this, like whatever.
John, as part of the renovations at the old town hall, did you switch to LEDs and
Every light in there is an LED light.
was there any incentive from Eversource to do that?
Did not approach them to do that. I believe you can, we could have, never, I'll be honest with you, never came across my mind here, but in here, did we not have at one time an audit in here?
Yeah, we did.
And we could approach them again to, investigate all the lights that we have in here and go to LEDs. I don't know what the LED lights on fluorescent lights, well, you know about that one, right?
Yeah. So one, there's a program called New Hampshire Saves,
Yeah,
and you can look into having someone come in, do an audit on the whole
Yeah.
building for lights, heat, all of that stuff, and they'll give you a report on it. There's also rebates on electrical, heating, refrigerators, appliances, things like that.
Energy efficient.
Yep, that there's rebates that they can give back.
have you, in your buildings that you manage, have you done any fluorescent or any lights like this that are LEDs?
So you can do two different things, either you can get, a new fixture
Yep.
that's all LED, or they make an LED bulb that plugs right into the same spot, but you basically bypass the ballast. So you don't have the ballast anymore, you
So
wire
it
them
would
direct.
plug into the electrical outlet here, is that what you do? You had a
So
whole
you-
new
you-
fixture?
Nope, you take the bulbs out,
Takes
expose where
these
the
bulbs
ballast.
out here.
Yep, take the bulbs out, expose where the ballast is, cut the wires on the ballast, so that it's not, you don't need it anymore, and you can wire.
And then you get
direct.
bulbs that look like this, right?
Exactly.
Do you know what those cost?
No, I don't.
Okay.
They, compared to the cost of a new fixture, they're.
Yeah, because the LEDs can reduce your electrical costs by 60%, or usage. 60% when you switch from an incandescent to an LED. And it's phenomenal the amount of energy you can save. So that whole town hall, we didn't think of going to get that, but every light that's in there, every fixture, outside, inside, is LED.
in conjunction with that, a number of years ago, I remember the year well, I did not make selectman of the year with this move. We eliminated over half the streetlights in town.
Yep.
Okay?
All three of them.
Subsequent to that, Eversource has contacted us about switching to LED. Two reasons that we've not done it. First, it's very expensive to make the switch. Second, under our ancient contract, when the light bulb burns out, Eversource replaces it, their cost. Move to the new system, light bulb or fixture wears out,
We pay.
we pay for it. So I've been reluctant to make that switch, but.
Yeah, overall, the street light LED would save us a ton of money.
They
But
make,
you need one call for them to come up and fix something like that, so.
they make an LED, like some of the big football fluorescent lights, they make, it's a screw-in LED.
Right.
So you can still, once again, you can still use that same fixture,
Right.
but with a,
But if we had to change the bulbs, then we would have to invest in some kind of bucket truck.
And if Eversource is involved in doing it, they might well say, you need a new fixture before we will work on it. Okay, so that's why we haven't done it yet. We went from 28 streetlights to I think 11 or thereabouts, somewhere around there, 12, some low number. All right,
Okay.
more. Yes.
A few weeks ago, I made a call to, DES because of a meeting we had with Middleton Supply, and I just was not happy with some of the things that came out during the meeting. It was just informational because nobody showed up for the public hearing with regards to the board. There were only 2 members there. I got a call Friday afternoon from the gentleman I had been dealing with, and he informed me that he had sent somebody out to do a site review, which should have been done to begin with. And that the results to that site review will be in sometime this week, and he will notify me of the results.
Okay.
The site review has been done.
Right, it was done Thursday.
It's already been done.
Done by whom? The state?
DES, yes.
By DES, because I got a call from the person, because I talked to the same individual, it was done last Friday. The alteration train has to be done, which was told to us by the applicant that they did not need to do it, so that's why I went ahead and made the phone call. And also they are crossing over a wetland out there, so they need wetland permits. Like she says, all that stuff is coming in, should be here for the next meeting.
I'm not faulting the planning board with this,
Right.
but I did not like the attitude of the woman involved, because it just seemed like she was trying to play both ends against the middle and bypass a lot of things that she should have had done.
So we both did the same work, but.
I had come in before, I had made those calls before I came into the
Yeah.
meeting.
But I just wanna let you know, he called me.
Yeah, he called me too.
So, but did he let you know that it was done?
Yes, he called, he left me a message Friday night.
Okay, so, anyways, it's all set, so Friday, that next Thursday, we've got, matter of fact, we should have the paperwork for that Thursday.
And the other thing too is, although they have 92 acres over there that they're putting this solar farm on, they do need to have a lot line revision for 5 acres.
Right.
And Laura has the solar book that Mackenzie had gotten when she went to the land use classes. And it tells you right in there, if you're under 25 megawatts, you have to designate 5 acres. So if they don't do the lot line revision, they can't build on the rest of that property.
I know that this business of AOTs, alteration of terrain, has nothing to do with Middleton Supply per se. I believe on a 5-acre lot, the town highway garage, AOT.
Yeah.
There was a time when we were talking about up off Access Road and Mountain Road, whatever's up there, we were gonna have a gravel pit. We needed an AOT for
Right.
that. I think we need AOTs when we do work up here on our own pit.
You know, according to them, that they weren't doing anything that required it, and I says, really? I said, you're putting a structure on that land.
Right.
And they said, well, that doesn't matter, we're just putting pilings in the ground. I said, no,
They
you are
remove
putting a structure
steps.
on that land,
Yeah.
and you're altering that terrain. You need to have a permit.
100,000 square feet, you gotta
Yep.
have an A.
Exactly.
Roger, what lies ahead? What's next on this,
That's Thursday, we're reviewing the permit again,
not this Thursday, but,
next Thursday,
okay.
that it's into the planning board's hands, what they wanna do with it. I am not making any decisions for the planning board right now, I have a recommendation in my head.
Okay.
Other people have recommendations in their head. We will take a look at the whole thing and go from there, but as right now, I'm to understand that, nothing's moving on the DES side until the permits are in hand, and they're doing it after the fact.
I
Whether
like to,
through intent or by weather, it doesn't look like they're working on it. Anybody see any evidence
No.
that they're doing anything up there? Everybody knows what we're talking about, right?
The last time we had the meeting, and I,
Talking about the solar panels.
Yeah.
that-
Down here.
Oh, right.
Yeah, kind of, in back, it's on the, if you're going down, it's the left-hand side.
Yeah.
It's in back of the logs, back of the mill, halfway up the mountain.
the last meeting we had that Janet was talking about was,
for the public hearing.
yeah, was the public hearing, nobody showed, so what we did is we just had an informal, pull the book out with the applicants,
Right.
let them know exactly what they needed to give the board. So we went through a whole list of stuff, so I don't know if that put a stop on them down there until they, because we did not do a formal stop.
But Middleton Building Supply, left there with knowledge of what
They
they were
needed
looking
for
for.
the board.
It's not like we have to mail it to them, they have it.
But they were under the impression that they did not have to have a site review done.
Right,
And the problem came from the fact that they couldn't hold the public hearing because the only two members that were there were
Right, I know.
Roger and
Paul.
Woodrow, or Bordeaux, however you pronounce his
Yeah.
name.
But we're
but we
moving ahead now.
We did go through the book, get this, you need 5 of these, you need this, Jenny was, you know, we went through all the stuff that they needed, so. I don't know where these people are getting, this is like our second one that we've had, that people just go ahead and just do the job, and hope to God they can get away with it, and it's.
Just about.
We explained to them in the beginning when they come to sit down before us that there are things needed, and Joe was there when we did. The biggest thing is getting us that application so we can start things moving. That incident that came up on that, which we're not gonna mention, that could have all easily been taken care of if the planning board got the application. At that time, that kicks in that 10-day clock that the planning board has an opportunity to go back and review their books to make sure that there is no other things that we have to look at. So the big thing is, let the planning board do what the planning board has to do.
No reference to the planning board or any people, citizens of Middleton, but I believe there's an attitude from bigger companies towards little towns like us, like,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Blow us off.
yeah,
Exactly.
they won't know, and
But she stood right here that night and she said, you know, and I said, you got a $3 million project that you only paid a $25 permit for? I said, are you kidding me? Well, that, you don't have an ordinance. We may not have a solar ordinance, but the state does, and that's what you follow.
you know, we also had other things like AOT and
Yeah,
site plan.
Structure.
and they tried to get away with
That's
it.
why I say when
Yeah.
that kicks that 10-day clock, and we have an opportunity to look in our books. You know, we don't, I'm gonna tell you, it's like you guys do, when I was, you don't know it all, so that's what you got the book for.
One of the things we done a few years ago when, Selectman Mullins was on the planning board chair, went through all the ordinance and updated everything. Now, at the time, we didn't have large scale solar, we only had residential solar stuff. And all that I said was, we give you an exemption for your taxes, goes on town, okay? That's all there was reference to it, okay? but we put new process, new structure on what you need to do, step by step by step. Have to, if they had got the form and filled out the correct way.
Right.
All that's in there, so when it was submitted to the planning board for review, to
Exactly.
start the process, do you need to have DES, AOT, all that's in there?
They
If,
said-
if so, where is the paperwork to support that? If you don't, where is the paperwork to support that? So basically, at this next planning board meeting and stuff like that, we're going to go through, even though there is stuff on site down there, we know that. But I think the best course of action is to start this like it's a brand new thing like that, boom, don't go any further with it until all the stuff is done. And I did say in front of you and Laura, and they were in here roughly about a month and a half ago, do not plan on getting an electrical, inspection and authorization to proceed with all the paperwork being done. You will not have it until it's done and done the correct way. Because once they get the, oh, go ahead, do it, we will never get the paperwork caught back up.
Eversource has to come out and do that.
But right now, as a board member, that is your opinion. We got
Right.
four other board members on there, so I'm not telling you my opinion.
No,
What
and you should,
So, one of the three other, the board members want to do, or three of the other ones, again, that's your opinion, we can, that's when we bring it to them, we've got it here, but when we go into the deliberation stuff, I know what's gonna come of it, I feel, but I don't wanna mention it because it's not right to do that.
Sharon?
I just have a question too. The plans that you have for that, have those been stamped by a certified surveyor?
I don't remember.
I'll have to go up and take a look at the plan.
Because the thing that made me question that was the thing that Paul picked up on. There was no date and there was no signature. If there was no date and no signature, I'd be willing to bet you it's not stamped. And I had that guy that was doing those plans so upset with me, he walked out of here. He knew, he knew that what I was saying was right and he was wrong.
All right, anything else on this? Otherwise, I wanna
You know, this is a planning board deal, so.
ask.
If you wanna come next Thursday, 6:30, we'll be there.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
You'll get it right from the horse's mouth.
Different topic, please. Roger, anything you want to say?
Yeah, everything is all set, we got, I know what you're gonna ask me. Right now, we got one thing left.
ZBA?
No,
Don't need that.
no. The last thing we got left is AT&T and Blue Sky to come to a decision like China and Trump is doing. And finally decide what the money is. What he calls it is, in the contract, he calls them red lines, which means they're sticking points. But everything else, where we're putting the culverts and everything, that's what's all.
Is it your opinion that we are still slated to be one of the first cell towers?
We are the first zero tower.
So it's not like there's 20 cell towers being built out there and we're getting stuck. Good.
No, we're the first cell tower to go up in this one.
Roxanne?
We're talking about the one that's going
Yes.
down here on Ridge,
Yeah.
okay. Just wanted
I
to
was,
make sure.
personally, I keep getting the same thing from Sean. It's their attorneys and Blue Sky's attorneys that are trying to come to a head. You know how attorneys are. Look at the wording in there. One word can give you 15 pages. So, that's what they're doing now. The other sticking problem was where we were gonna put that thing underground. That's all solved. So, Sean feels hopefully another couple weeks and that'll be all done. But I also when I talked to Sean today, he said they are going to dig in the middle of the winter if it's hard or not. So,
Can I make a point of clarification?
Go ahead.
Okay, when Roger said the second sticking point was the electrical, out on Ridge Road, there's a pole there. And we done a walkthrough with Eversource, Blue Sky, Highway Department, Roger, myself. Basically, you go into the new area and there's a big drainage that curves up and follows the boundary line to your right-hand side. we want underground utilities there, so they're gonna bring a pole, from that pole up the road, over inside, so here's your ditch, right here, and then from that point, all the way up through to where the cell tower site is going to be underground utilities. The final plan that was submitted to Ed at the highway department showed poles all the way up through. That's not what we discussed. So we keep it back, say, no, we want it underground, your plans need to show underground utilities. So basically, that was this little thing that we had to wait on to prolong it for a week or two, or whatever, so. Now it's just the attorney's hashing it out, correct? So,
Red
so
line.
once that's done like that, they,
Good stuff, all right, thank you. What else? Anything? John?
I'm good.
Anybody? Else? Yes.
Some of you probably heard about the Marriott Starwood breach of security. I'll be putting in the newspaper this coming Thursday. Apparently some million people have had their account information possibly compromised.
For whom?
If you've got any records with Starwood or Marriott.
Oh,
hotels.
Marriott, okay, gotcha.
So, again, a reminder to
If you
everybody.
worry about me, I can't afford to stay in Marriott.
A reminder to everybody that I'm putting in the newspaper is that you're entitled to a free credit report from all 3 credit bureaus, and they recommend getting one every 4 months from each of the 3. Get one once now. 4 months from now, you can get another credit report from one of the other agencies, and so on. That way you've got the whole year covered. Just rotate this.
I'll put permanent security freezes on your credit files.
All right,
I just got one,
Yep. Chief, all right, Will.
that's just, we have 4 used ATV tires that are in.
Oh, yeah,
So,
okay, may I read this?
yes, sir.
Middleton Fire and Rescue would like to put out for sealed bid 4 used ATV tires on rims from 2006. We need a 23 by 11 by 10, I guess.
Yeah.
They're used, we no need to keep them, so we're gonna, I guess Laura, put something out on Facebook or Craigslist, or wherever we go with this, please.
I don't know how long you want it, when you wanna put them out, how long you want the
Go
bid.
figure.
I don't know,
Is it to buy new tires?
week or
I'm going to.
10 days. Is
Where are they located?
You're right.
Sometimes they like to see them.
Okay, they're in the shed at the,
They're gonna be in your office.
So why don't we,
Yeah, like everything else.
How do they have access? Do you have access to that?
No, but
No.
Paul does.
yeah,
Paul
I can arrange something with Paul.
Okay.
so why don't we take sealed bids all the way up until, we can't do it the 10th, we're off the 24th. Next meeting's January 7th. Until, take bids up until January 7th, Friday before,
open
at
on
noon
that
time
day?
and be done with it. I'm sorry, the Thursday before at noon time, because you guys don't work Fridays.
Before the 10th? Before the 7th?
So, no, the 5th, the 6th, January 6th. January 6th would be a Friday?
No.
No, it's a Sunday. So you want the 3rd, so you can open on the 7th. Okay, 3rd, so you can open on the 7th.
Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever the date is.
All right.
Yes,
Anything else?
next year.
Move adjourned.
I make a
Is there a
motion.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Me.
Aye. Thank you.